Okay, so I'm recording, and thank you all for coming on short notice to come learn more about the Tower Garden and how you can implement it in your school. I'm Michelle Fletcher, and I have been able to get Tower Gardens into a number of schools here in Broward County, and I know that there are multiple Tower Gardens in schools in Dade County and Palm Beach County. So it's just a great addition to a school's curriculum. And I saw that a lot of the schools saw the value in it, in the fact that they were looking for something that would like take them to the next level. And they were just like, the Tower Garden is it. Like, this is the future of growing. So I'm going to show you what the Tower Garden is really quickly, and then I can answer any questions towards the end. So here's the Tower Garden. It's an innovative new concept, is not as new anymore. I've had my Tower Garden for 8 years, but the towers have been around for a long time. It was created from a chief horticulturalist from Epcot, the land, and then he left Epcot and created this system that he was selling commercially, and then he eventually partnered with our company, which is Juice Plus, to sell it residentially because he saw there was a need. So it's a great way to grow fruits and vegetables in a small space. Is futuristic, is pretty timely right now. More than ever, people are wanting to take more control of their food sources without having to deal with weather patterns and all those different things. So you're able to grow year round. And it makes us more socially responsible. Like, this is definitely sustainable. It goes with the locavore movement, where people are wanting to eat their local produce, like that they know has been grown like in their area. And then there's a huge interest in gardening now. And it's funny, I posted something recently saying there's like 4 things that should be taught in the school system, and that should be like how to cook, how to like deal with finances, like all these things that we don't typically get. And this touches one area of that. So all of the food that's grown on there is organic or affordable. So it's a vertical growing system. It can be 5 foot tall if you're growing 20 different types of produce, or 6 foot tall if you're growing 28. So it grows up to 28 different produce. And now we have another indoor version that actually grows 32, because it grows also microgreens. And it uses an all natural earth mineral growing tonic that you place in the water at the base. And it was developed by Tim Blank. He's that chief horticulturalist that worked at Epcot. So I'm going to play this video really quickly, but I just realized I need to share my sound. So give me a second. It's a minute long, it's really short, but I want you guys to be able to hear it. Share sound. Okay. And let me know if you can hear
it. Tower Garden's state-of-the-art aeroponic vertical garden system uses both water and air to produce more colorful, better tasting, and incredibly nutritious fruits, vegetables, and herbs. Tower Garden has a 20-gallon reservoir at its base that stores the Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Developed by experts in plant and human nutrition, Tower Tonic Mineral Blend enables superior plant growth and better nutrition from your Tower Garden produce. The process begins once the seedlings have been placed in your Tower Garden. Here they will be nourished with Tower Tonic nutrient solution. Inside the reservoir is a small, low-wattage submersible pump. The pump pushes the nutrient solution up through the tower to the top. From there, the nutrient solution drips through the central tower using a special device that evenly cascades the solution over the exposed plant roots. On the journey down the tower, the nutrient solution feeds the roots and becomes highly oxygenated as it cascades gently down the reservoir. This process is continuous, providing fresh oxygen, water, and nutrients to the roots of the plants. This patented aeroponic process enables food crops to grow faster than they would in soil, so they can be harvested more often. And it makes Tower Garden the healthier, easier, smarter way to grow your produce.
Okay, so that's a really quick overview of how the tower works. And I really like this video because in a few seconds you get to see how quickly everything grows on a tower, which is something I think that the schools really love. The kids see food growing really fast versus in the soil where it takes like a lot more time for it to grow. Everything grows in 1/3 the time it would in soil. So check this out. It's like 17 seconds. Ah, hold on, go back. So that is how quickly things grow on this tower. So here's some examples of our towers at our homes. It's asking the question, why aeroponics? Oh, so aeroponics, you grow stronger and healthier plants. It grows faster because it's exposed to more CO2, and then you have more yield in less space. So you're able to grow 20 to 28 types of different produce right there in like a vicinity of like a 3-foot round location. So you're getting more out of less space. And if that's an issue at your school, that definitely helps. I know I have it in a middle school here in Broward, and they have it in the classroom. The science teacher has it in the classroom. So like I mentioned, it uses less than 10% of the water, less than 10% of land, and you get to control like what you're putting on there. You usually don't need to really put much on the tower to deter pests because it's not in the soil. So it's easier to control like pests. Super easy to install. I mean, once the kids come back to school, we usually have them do it when they get the towers. They love it. They think it's so much fun. And the kids also love to maintain it. I mean, just because they're watching it grow, to them, it's just exciting and it's new and it's different. And this is really our kids' generation, right, of how they will be gardening in the future, because what we have learned over the years is our soil is being depleted. A lot of people may have a house with a backyard, but the soil in their backyard isn't even like viable for growing as much because there's a lot of sand in there. So this is an easy way to grow with no dirt, no weeds. It's less sensitive to the climate of what's going on. Only if there's like a hurricane do you need to get in, or if temperatures drop like below 40 degrees, which here in South Florida is not normal. So you usually can have it outdoors all year round here. And you can grow indoors. So everything's vine ripened, nutritious. You pick it, it's organic. You know that you're probably the few hands that touched it, you and the students. And then here's a gentleman in New York. He has a restaurant that has like about 60 of them on his in his restaurant on the rooftop. So it grows a lot. It grows watermelon, all types of squash and pumpkin, tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, all kinds of herbs, eggplant, you name it. As long as it's not from a tree or a bush or a root vegetable like carrots or beets, it grows in the tower garden, which funny enough, someone I know was growing beets in there recently. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't know we could grow beets. So, you know, maybe to have the kids experiment. So one thing about our company is that they like to do research on all our products and research on a tower garden to compare it to growing in soil. And that's where they came up with, the research shows that you get, everything grows in 1/3 the time it would in soil. It uses less than 98% of water. It produces 30% more yield than a traditional garden in the soil. So there's so many benefits. And it also has the antioxidant equivalents, which a lot of people are like, well, are you still getting the same amount of nutrition? Yes, you are. And it's definitely less maintenance.
Bernard said he cannot hear you.
Who can't hear me?
Yes.
Bernard can't hear me?
No, he said he can't hear you. I don't know if it's his.
He might not have his audio on. Bernard, can you hear me now? I see he's not.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So here, the tower's been featured in a lot of places, like President Clinton. Is my thing over here? So Kobe Bryant had partnered with a homeless shelter in California, and they brought in the towers to help feed the homeless shelter. And they have, like, I think close to 15 to 20 of the towers. And this one is the taller one. You see how tall it is. President Clinton's standing next to it. So that was an initiative that was a partnership with Kobe Bryant and the chief horticulturalist who created this. And then we're also in Chicago O'Hare Airport. There's like around 20 to 30 towers in Terminal 3, and they use all the produce to feed the restaurants. They're getting all organic produce in the restaurants in the airport. And then we've been featured in numerous other places too. So this guy is someone you want to definitely check out, Stephen Ritz. He is, oh, why does it say Breen? He's part of the Green Bronx Machine, and he's a teacher in Bronx, New York, who started to implement gardening in his classroom, and he took it to the next level. He was gardening on the walls, like he was growing fruits and vegetables on the walls of abandoned buildings in the Bronx. And then he discovered the Tower Gardens, and now he has them all over the world. He has them in, United Emirates. He's still a teacher in New York, but he's just doing amazing things. And he's just been a huge advocate for the towers and growing your own food and teaching children that are in areas that are, lower socioeconomic areas to learn how to grow their own food and understand from like seed to actual, like the plant. They're getting to see that. So he has several videos. Let me see if there's a video in here. So this is him in his classroom. And here are 5 reasons why the Tower Garden is a great teaching tool. When this is over, I'm gonna go find his 2-minute video. He was actually featured as like a Teacher of the Year through Office Depot, and he shows the Tower Gardens and what he's doing in the classroom. It's like a 2-minute video. So here are 5 reasons why the Tower Garden is a great teaching tool. You'll learn more in less time with fewer resources. And the Tower Garden uses technology, which compared to gardening has been shown to increase, like I mentioned, more yield. It speeds up the plant growth so that the kids get to see things even faster. You can grow inside the classroom with the grow lights, which is so much fun for the kids to just watch it grow every day while they're in the classroom, or even if they're not in the classroom and this is distant learning, they get to see it through whoever is instructing them and just checking it out. Like every few days you notice a significant difference with the tower and how it's growing. You have less mess to deal with, for sure. It's less of a hassle and less cleanup. And it's something that when school's out, you can just break it down and store it. And then when school's back in session, just put it back up. And then you can move it wherever learning is happening. So if you get the dolly, it moves around. So if you wanted to move it from classroom to classroom, you can do that too. You could put it in the cafeteria, you can move it to the playground. It's portable. There's not too many gardens that are portable. And then you get growing support. So there's a school curriculum that comes with our Tower Garden. So this curriculum was created, I believe in the next few slides, you'll see more information on that, but there's a lot of resources. I would be a resource for you if you have the towers in your school. And yeah, there's just a number of ways that you would be supported. So we have Tower Gardens in preschools. This is one in California, but we actually have 2 in a preschool here in Broward. We have them in elementary schools. We have them in a ton of elementary schools here in Broward too. One that my daughter used to go to, that elementary school, they have 3. They're in middle schools. I know, McNichol Middle School has 10 of them, and they're in Hollywood. Then there was one in Norland High School. There is 3 in Monarch High School in Coconut Creek, which I got put in there. This is a Jewish center. Oh, I don't know if you guys know this place. This is the Jewish school that's right there by the turnpike in Miami Gardens. What is it called? Levitch or whatever. Do you know that school, Brent? That big Jewish center? It's actually across from that new golfing place. What's the golf place called? The indoor golf place. Oh, I can't remember.
You're talking about Top Golf?
Top Golf. It's across the street from Top Golf. It's a Jewish school. They're like all locked up and high gates, but they implemented a ton of them. I think they got like 10 at the school. So this is that school. This is where they did study. They did studies on the towers at both the University of Florida and also at the University of Mississippi. And so we have curriculum that we offer to you. It's readily available, and it incorporates science, reading, language arts, social studies, and there's all kind of research you can do, compare, contrast, cooperative learning groups. Through science, students will learn the plant life cycles and photosynthesis, population studies, health and nutrition, leadership, and hands-on health education. I mean, I feel like there's certain kids that are more, sometimes they come out of their shell because this is something of real interest to them and they take the lead on it. So that is really cool too. I know the high school that I had first got them placed in years ago, she said her students were coming in during like holiday breaks to come take care of the tower. And I was like, what? Like during the long Christmas break, they would come in like once or twice to check on it. And I was like, that's incredible. They were that dedicated. So here's the educational resources, starting with 2nd grade and up. And this is everything the tower comes with. It comes with everything to get started. This is the smaller version, which is 5 foot. This grows 20 different types of plants. I usually recommend the 6 foot version for a school because, you know, the more things you can grow, the better, and the more the kids get to see. And then usually I recommend like at least 1 for each grade because then each grade can have their individualized tower garden that they're learning from.
How much is each tower?
So 1 tower is $625, but then there's a bundle, this trio bundle that you can get, which is you get a lot more. You get the taller ones, you get all these extra accessories with it, and it turns out to be less expensive. Like it's less, let me find how much it is now because the price has changed a little bit, but.
You have to purchase the seed separately? Like, I mean.
It comes with starter seeds, so they send like 5 to 6 different types of seeds with each tower garden purchase. But then you would want to purchase additional seeds for, you know, what you would want to grow. Let me see how much the trio is. So with getting 3 together is $2,000. So it's $620 for 1. That's if you're doing this one that you see here. We also have a smaller version of this, which you grow indoors with the lights. This is an older presentation. I just realized I should have pulled up a picture of the new version. Actually, I can do it now. I'll come out of this, but I'll show you the newer version that we have too. So it's $2,000 for 3, or if you purchase 1, it's $620, and the 3, you're actually getting a lot more. You're getting the taller version, which if you're getting the taller version, it's usually like an extra, I think $60 for that extra extension to make it taller per tower. And you get a cage, you get all these additional things that would add up to where it is cheaper to get 3 versus just 1.
Okay.
I wanted to show you. Where am I? I'm in Google Slides.
Yeah, Michelle, the school would actually be utilizing the inside one. There's not really an area outside.
Tia.
And I know we had briefly gone over this before, but this is great for us to do it.
Tia, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No.
Is now better?
Yes, yes.
Okay. No, I was just saying that they would be utilizing the ones inside, um, because there's no area outside for them to utilize the garden. So it would have to be the ones with the grow lights.
Oh, the indoor one, which, okay,
Correct.
so here, I want you guys to see this.
Well, I had a question about the indoor one too. Yeah, we have no outside, so I guess it would have to be an indoor one. Now, with it being indoor, does the lights have to be on?
Yes, because the indoor version comes with the grow lights and the grow lights replicate the sunlight. So that is what helps the plants to grow. So this is the indoor version, and why do they have it outdoors without the lights on? That's crazy. Why would they put the picture up without the lights on it? Here, so here it is. So when this whole COVID-19 started, our towers ended up being on back order because so many people were purchasing tower gardens. Like it was out of control. So our grow lights happened to be, they're all back in stock, but the grow lights were back ordered too, but they just got the grow lights in. So they're like slowly shipping them out to the first come, first serve. So I think that's why it still says temporarily out of stock, because I know they're currently shipping lights. But this is what it looks like. And I don't even like this picture. I gotta find a better picture for you guys. I don't know why. In DC, they even have a tab for you guys, school garden. So they give so much support in regards to having it in the school. This is Stephen Ritz. He's amazing. Let me see if this is the video.
I have another question about being indoor with the lights on.
Yes.
Does it require for it to have cooling?
Cooling?
Like, does the AC have to be on in the building?
How hot does it get in there? Because like when we grow outdoors and we're growing here in South Florida, it's like 100 degrees some days and the towers are fine outside. So I don't think it would require the AC being on, but it does require the water to be running, like it plugged in so the water is circulating in the tower. But as for
with the grow light, right?
Yeah, and the grow lights would have to be plugged in. And I didn't mention, but for the towers to be plugged in, it's like less electricity than a night light. So it costs less than like $10 a year to have it plugged in.
So I'm asking because at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., the school is on automatic AC. It shuts off because no one's in the building.
Oh, I think that should be fine. That should be fine. Let me see.
I love tower gardens in the classroom. They are the most cost-effective school garden aligned to academic outcomes one can ever imagine. And best of all, I can take my garden to the cafeteria, down the hallway, to one class, to another class, to another class, use it for science, use it for literacy, use it for art. Tower gardens are about so much more than growing healthy outcomes and growing healthy fruits and vegetables. They're about the science, the math, the record keeping, the data, the prediction, the analysis, and then of course there's the eating. And when you expand their palates, you expand their vocabularies. And when you expand their vocabularies, you expand their minds.
So yeah, that's Stephen Ritz. But I could probably stop sharing now and answer any questions you guys have. Unless you want to see something else, I can jump somewhere else if you guys want to see. But yeah, indoors you want to have the grow lights. I know, ignore this. I know the middle school that had it in the classroom, I believe their AC went off during one of the breaks. I forgot if it was like Thanksgiving, but everything was fine with the tower. She didn't have any issues. It's really not, heat doesn't really bother it. The main thing it needs is the water to be filtrating through because it's on a timer. So the timer's on, you can have it set up to like every 15 to 30 minutes that the water comes on and then it goes off because it's aeroponic. So it needs the air to the roots and it also needs the water. So temperature on the outside environment isn't as much of a issue as the actual, like, it being hydrated. You need it to stay hydrated. So they're not turning off the entire power source, they're just turning off the AC.
Right. Yeah. The AC is on an automatic timer, so it kicks back on at 6 a.m. It goes off at 6 p.m. So I just thought that might be an issue. How often would the teacher or the class have to refill the water? Is that, something that they do weekly, daily?
So no, not daily at all, and probably not weekly in the classroom, because I mean, I have mine outside in the heat and I'm filling it up probably in the middle of summer, like right now every week. But when it's spring, I don't have to fill it up as often. It's just because I was growing a lot of things that pulled the water out of it. Like I was growing cucumbers, I was growing a watermelon, and it was hot outside, so it was absorbing the water fast. But in the classroom, I feel like she would probably check the water every week and a half to 2 weeks to refill it. And it depends on the size that she gets, because if she gets the smaller version of the tower, it holds 13 gallons of water at the base, where the larger one grows 20 gallons. And either the large or the smaller one can grow with the grow lights.
Okay. And this is something I saw the educational portion of it, the science, sociology, and things like that, which that last video was a great video. What's your feedback? I think it's something like the younger kids will actually pretty much love, just to see something that they grow and they actually can, taste it and eat it. That would probably,
Yes.
excite them a lot.
So I've gotten it into every school, like every type of school: elementary, preschool, middle school, high school. And so with the elementary school, which is in a very affluent neighborhood, my daughter's old elementary school, the assistant principal at the time was looking for something that was like that would stand out, because she said a lot of her parents, even though the elementary school was like a school, after they left elementary, the middle schools were like low rated. And so they would take their kid out and put them into a private school, like American Heritage. And so she was like, oh my gosh, this is something that will probably retain more of the parents. And sure enough, she got it. And parents were so excited about it. Like they loved it. And so she got 3, and then she planned on getting more, but then she left the school. So I check in on them and the teacher that has it, and the teacher's still going strong with the towers. But that was her thought process, is what can I do to like have these parents still excited to sending their kids here? So that was the elementary school. The middle school in McNichol Middle School in Hollywood, they love it. I couldn't believe they got 10. Well, what happened was 2 departments ordered. One department, well, the principal saw it and he was like, yes, I want this. And he had so much money left over in his budget. He was like, I'm ordering it right now. So he ordered I think he ordered 6. And then the Hispanic, I guess they have a Hispanic or like a Latino organization on the campus, and they saw it and they were like, we want this especially for our Hispanic club. And they bought another 4. So the school in total has 10 of them, and they love it too. Like they're just doing all kinds of things, and they use the curriculum. So, and then the high school is what the first school I got it in was in the high school in Coconut Creek, and those kids just took it over. They thought it was the best thing. They felt independent. They were just like the science geeks were all over it. That was the school where they were coming in on their breaks to go check on the tower. I couldn't even believe it. So, I mean, each level, there's a level of excitement. When they're young, they're excited to see it grow and be able to eat it and taste it and just see how fast it's like growing. And then middle school is just like another level of excitement. And then high school, they're just really taking that leadership into, oh, this is ours. It's their project.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like, as a nonprofit, is there like, any grants or anything out there that could help with the cost?
Yes, I was telling Tia, there's a number of grant resources out there, and it's probably a really good time to reach out to Like I know Lowe's does a gardening grant. Like there's all kinds of companies that offer grants for having gardens in the schools. And we have like a Facebook page with a listing of different places you can apply for grants. So there's a number out there, and right now with everything going on, I think a lot of people might be overlooking it. So it's probably a good time to apply for some grants for getting a garden in your school.
Yeah, I actually, 3 grants that we're looking at, but I just want to make sure that the school is going to move forward and we can definitely apply for those. A lot of them that we are eligible for that I've looked at, we've missed the cutoff dates because a lot of the cutoffs were in between February and March. So we can look at those again for next year. But there are 3 right now that would cover. I know, Brent, you had said initially you were looking at maybe K through 4th. And with looking at those grades, we were looking at about $3,000 or $4,000. And one of the grants is for $4,000. There's another one for $1,000, and then there's another one for like $1,500. So that would essentially, if we were fortunate enough to get, one of those or a couple of those, that would help with the cost immensely right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think it'd be great for the school and the kids. It's something that we could bring to the school as well, to let the kids know that they can actually grow their own fruits and vegetables and see it in real time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think that's something that brings a different component to the school, something different that we could offer to the school and to the students. So that's always a great thing. And we always trying to be innovative and, thinking outside the box. So it's something I think that should be able to work. I'm just praying that we could, get grants and that can make sure that we could be able to pay for it.
Yeah, I'll stop the recording.